welcome back to my channel. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service. Today, I would like to talk about how I open up a bottle of wine. You know what? Opening up a bottle of wine can be a huge discussion amongst waiters and bartenders and sommeliers and managers and whoever. It's the same. You know, people say, don't talk about religion or politics or sometimes red wine because there is no right way to do it. And everybody, of course, thinks that they have the right way. So I have called this video how I open up a bottle of wine. I have been in the restaurant business for 35 years. I have actually learned a lot of what guests do not like and what guests do like. So I would like to show you how I prefer to open up a bottle of wine and also how to make it easy. You know, sometimes ladies just don't have big as hands as men do, and we cannot do the same thing in that way. And I think this is a really good beginner way to learn about how to open up a bottle of wine. I can also recommend that, you know, when you're at home and you're having a party or your family party or whatever, and someone has a bottle of wine, be that person to take the bottle of wine and practice this. It is a hard thing to practice unless you're gonna be opening a bunch of wines and your manager said, let's just open up wine bottles now, which probably isn't always going to be what's gonna happen for you to do it. So whatever chance you have to open up a bottle of wine, take it and do your best on it. I really hope this video helps, so let's get into it. I am going to show you how to open up 3 different bottles of wine today. The first one is going to be this bottle of white wine, and actually I have, these are just ones I have in my refrigerator, and it is a Francis Ford Coppola Diamond Collection. It says on the label as well, gold label, Monterey County, Chardonnay 2017. Now some of the labels have a lot of different things on them. I would look into your drink card and see what it says in there, you know, the highlighted words on it, what the title is, whatever your marketing people put on there. And then I would also look on the bottle to find the same words on there and think, you know what? Because you're gonna have to talk about this with the guest. So you want a couple things. You want the year, if that's available, the grape, which is the Chardonnay, and the name Francis Ford Coppola. I think is some of the most important things on this bottle. And I do wanna say this is my very favorite white wine. Yes. Not sponsored, but wish it was, because I really do like this wine. So when I come down, here's my guest, my invisible guest. They're sitting over there. When I come down and they have ordered this wine from me and I have found it for them, before I open it, I will also have my opener. And you know what? I love these openers. I know there's all different fancy ones, batterized, whatever, but this one is just, I'm telling you, the be-all, end-all super tool, plus it opens up beers and other things. So get one of these. Sometimes your bartender might have some extra ones, or sometimes depending on, you know, if you get wine from your restaurant, the dealer who gives you the wine has a bunch of these with their names on it. Super cool as well. Have one in your house, have one in your car, have one in your backpack, and have one on you when you're on the floor, because they always say every good waiter has a bottle opener, a pen, and a lighter. And maybe your restaurant is non-smoking, super fine, but maybe it has candles you need to light. And so there's always someone going around looking for a lighter. So that's always something really nice to have. So super item for us to have, so we know we are a great waiter. But let's start out with this wine. So I first come down to the guest, they ordered it. I want to show them the wine. I'm smiling while I do this because this is like, ding, it's like a show, right? We have the Francis Ford Coppola. It is, and I'm gonna just, you know, like read upside down. I don't have to memorize anything. It is a Chardonnay, it's 2017. And I will look to see what they say, and they're like, ooh, yes, that's what I ordered. You know what's, I always like to present this before I open it, because maybe, I mean, we're humans, we make mistakes. Maybe I grabbed the wrong one out of the fridge, or the bartender gave me the wrong one and I got down and now I find it's the wrong one. Oh, I am so sorry about that. I took the wrong one. Please just give me a moment. I'm gonna run back and get you the correct one. Thank you for your patience. And I run back and get the correct bottle. So we let them see the bottle, they decided they liked it, and now we need to move on to opening it. And you're like, whoa. If you're just beginning, it's all right to set this down on the table, on the edge of the table here. My table's really little, so it's almost all edge. And I'm gonna open this up to the weapon, to the knife part of it, and I'm going to cut this seal off the top. Now, if you feel secure to do it, just like this, and, oh, little hint, when you're standing here to the guest, try to have the label towards them the whole time. They're probably not looking at you right now, but maybe they are. And you're going to just take right under here, this little lip here, and you're with your thumb like this, and you're just gonna cut around it. You know, I've seen people do this with apples. And you're thinking, whoa, that's a little bit too much for me. It's all right to just put it down on the table, hold on to it, and just go around it like this. Now, after you cut through it all the way to the glass, then you can kind of take this and like, whoop, use it like a little, you know, a little helper here to try to take that whole cap off in one cap. Now, don't put that on the table or on the floor, but if you have a little pocket, just put it in your pocket. You can empty it when you get back to the pot wash, right? So now you have this totally open like here. You're gonna shut your knife, yes. I'll just set this down for a moment so I can show you, and then I'm going to get the screw out and I'm going to keep it like a T. And a little bit important here, you want to make sure that T goes right in the middle of your cork. Yes, and you're just going to start turning clockwise until it's down all the way. You can do this with two hands, that's easy enough. And when it gets down all the way, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to, you know, it has a little dink dink here and a dink dink here. I don't know, I'm sure there's a name for that, but I call it dink dink. And then we're just gonna hold that down there, and then I'm going to pull up. Sometimes this is a tricky part where you're like, oh, the cork is really stuck in there, and I can't get it out. It's all right to put it on the table as leverage. If you can get the label towards the guest, but sometimes you can't decide where it ends up screwing in, right? So it's just a second or two that you need to do this. And then you pull it up. So I will pull it up once, all the way. See, it's all the way, I can't pull it up anymore. And then I'll go back down and I'll take the last, we'll call it doot doot, and then I will pull it all the way out. And I can also do that on the table. If I'm just starting out, I think that's totally fine. What I have actually done before, way, way back, it wasn't a good idea, but it seemed very natural to me, was to put it between my legs and pull it out like that. No, 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 don't do that. Use the table if you have to. Then you have the cork pulled out. Now we can go into huge discussion with everybody else that thinks they are also the best at opening a bottle of wine. Should you smell it? You know what? I like to smell the cork because I have, not so many times as I have opened good ones, but I know what it smells like when a wine is corked. I mean, it smells really bad. It smells like this is moldy. I definitely do not want to drink it. And if I know how that smells, then I can be like, ooh, I think it's corked. I would like to try to get you another one right away. Wow, your people are going to be like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Also, please ask your manager or your bartender, hey, if you ever get a corked wine, will you let me know? Because I want to smell it. I want to smell what that corked smell tastes like, because you won't forget that. That's quite easy. Then I'm going to actually take this cork off, and a lot of times the guest still wants this cork, so do not get rid of it. I would sit it right next to the bottle, or lay it right next to the bottle so it's there for them. Depending on your restaurant or country, whatever, sometimes if they don't finish the bottle, you can take it back out with you. Super cool. Then you have a cork to put in so you can take it out. So then I'm just gonna put this in my pocket because I'm gonna have to open a lot of bottles of wine on this ship. And I'm gonna figure out if it's a lady or a man. Always ladies first, right? And if it was the man that had ordered the wine, then I will pour it for the person that ordered the wine. Let's say it's two ladies and one of the ladies ordered the glass of wine. Who do you pour first to? You always pour to the person that you are having a conversation about the wine, presenting them the wine. This is your wine expert person at the table. So when they do the taste, which I always love that they do because I want them to really like this wine, but it's super great service, now, this is when it comes in when you have big man hands and you're super strong, then you can hold it like this, and then there's a little hole down here, kind of put your knuckle in there a little bit and pour it in. We'll just try. Smiling when I pour. Yes! It was great, and then I will hold it like this while they try it, and they'll swish it around, or they'll smell it, or whatever they end up doing. At one point, they're gonna say, oh, I love it, and I'm gonna be like, thank you, perfect. I'm gonna pour up all the other guests, And then I'm going to last pour up the person that ordered the wine. I'm just going to pour it about halfway full because wines need to get some air. And when they get air, they smell and taste a lot better. So don't pour it all the way up because, yes, just don't do that. Pour it halfway up, especially if they just had a bottle. I think that is an elegant way to do it. Now, let's say you have smaller hands and you don't feel so comfortable and it's a really expensive bottle of wine and you don't want to mess this up. You know what? I know in Japan also they do this, but 2 hands. Oh, you are so careful. Yes, like this. Showing it to them, they try it, you pour up everybody else, and there you go. I set the bottle of wine down here right next to the cork so it faces the person. If you have, it's a white wine, it needs to stay cool. If you have some type of wine cooler, please make sure to have it down at the table at that time or run and go get it really quick so you have your wine cooler there. Ask your manager how they want you to serve a wine cooler. That's very different depending on what restaurant you have. Let's go on to our next bottle of wine, and I have a bottle of red wine. It's called Chateau Bayard. It's a French wine, Bordeaux 2012. I heard that's a good year, so I like it anyway. I really like this wine, something I just had around my house. Actually, right now it is my favorite red wine, I have to say. This one is kind of special. Sometimes Italian wines actually have this possibility. I think this wine has a possibility. We're gonna give it a try. But again, I go down to my guests, I present the wine, I read upside down. Here we have Chateau Bayard. It's a 2012. It's from Bordeaux. Yes, they like it. Fantastic. Let's start to go to open it. Now, if it is, you can, I don't know how you can tell. You can tell right away because this thing is going to go back and forth. So sometimes you can actually just pull down and pull it out and voila, the whole thing came off. I think that's so cool, and it is also a lot easier than fumbling around with that knife. But it's not always possible. Again, put this in your pocket. So then I am going to get out my trusty opener. And I don't need the knife now because I got that off right, but then I'm going to open up this. And let's open it down on the table, just as if we are just first starting, right in the middle again. And twisty, 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 twist. Smiling while you're doing it. Maybe asking your guests, hey, are you on vacation? Are you on holiday? Are you visiting here? Have you seen that famous museum? Whatever, while you're opening it, if you're having a conversation. So the first doot-doot, up, and the second doot-doot, and up. Being careful not to break the cork, and it's not cork. It smells nice. So I'm just going to take that off. Finally, to my guests, setting this down, putting this back into my pocket. And, oh, would you like to taste? Fantastic. Pour you a little bit there. Ta-da. They love it. It is a red wine, so most red wines do not need a cooler, but you might have some special red wine. Sometimes Côte d'Aron is very nice, a little bit cooled off. So it depends. Talk to your bartender, talk to your manager, however you serve it. If it does require a cooler, then of course provide that for your guests. So the last bottle of wine I have here is a red bottle of wine. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I seem to wreck a lot of different languages. Romanoli, yes. And it does not have a date on the front, but I found finally a date on the back. It says 2018. It's a Pinot Nero, so I will remember that. There's a lot of other words on here in Italian, and so I do not know Italian so well. I wish I did. However, I'm going to skip all that part so I know the year, the name of the grape, and also the name of the wine. I'm going to present this bottle of wine. This time we're dealing with the screw top, and that's why I wanted to talk about this, and it's the easiest one to open. But let's talk about it anyway. So I'm going to show this to my guests to make sure that I have the right wine. Fantastic. And of course, you would open it just like you would open anything else with the screw top. I like to hold on to the bottom of the bottle, twist it just a little bit, get the screw top off. Now, because it's a screw top, it probably won't have cork, but you don't know. I mean, I can't always say 100% screw top bottles will never be bad. However, I probably would not smell that. That would be a little bit strange. But I am going to leave it on the table in case, again, they can take it home later if that's some type of politic you have in your restaurant. And for some reason, some of the guests like to have that cap no matter what. Maybe they want to smell it. Hey, whatever makes you happy, right? So then I'm going to find the person that ordered the wine and say, oh, I'd love to give you a little taste. Let's take a little taste and see if you like it. Now, you know, sometimes there might not be anything wrong with the wine and they just don't like it. I really love working in the restaurants that have 100% guarantee for the guest. And you know, if they don't like it, let's find them another glass of wine or another bottle of wine. That's fine with me. You need to talk to your manager and your team to find out what is the policy with if they don't like it or if it is corked, and do you change it out to something else or whatever it is. But I think that is always the best. Make the guest happy. I mean, if they don't like this wine after they tried it, they don't like it. And why not? Why wreck the rest of their experience, right? So I'm gonna hold it out here. They swish it around, they try it. Ooh, I really like the color. I might notice something. I'll tell them again, the year, the kind of grape the wine is from as they're tasting it. That makes me sound like I know a lot, but I just am reading upside down. But I prepped myself a little bit before, right? And then I'm going to pour up the rest of the gas, and I'm going back to pour up for this gas just halfway, and setting the bottle again. If I need a cooler, my bar manager will tell me, but otherwise I will just leave it here. Enjoy your wine. Hey, that is how to open a bottle of wine, and I hope that you get many times to practice. Try to feel comfortable with it, have a good time, because if you're having a good time, your guests are having a good time, and cheers! I hope to see you on my next video. Have an amazing day. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and thank you so much for watching my video. If you would like more tips and tricks on service, how to up your service game, click here. And please subscribe by pressing my face right here, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you get a new video notification every Waiters Weekend. Follow me on Instagram